So hello, and you join us on day 4 of our Pedro and Pals off-roading trip to Andorra. We are just leaving Baduk now, which is the large natural beach that we camped on for day 3. That was a good laugh. Unfortunately, we couldn't get onto the beach itself, but we still managed to find a little area where we could have a little play around, and then we camped up, kind of tucked out the way somewhere. And now we are heading to our campsite in Andorra, which should be around a 5.5 hour drive from where we are at the moment. So it's going to be a bit of a long day. And at the moment it's freezing cold in Andorra as well, so we've got that to look forward to. So yeah, we're just going to make it out of the Baduk Natural Park, and then we will find the nearest petrol station, stock up with some fuel, try and find somewhere where we can jet wash our cars as well because they're absolutely filthy. And then once we've done that, get on the motorway and try and get some miles covered. Just filled up the tanks with fuel. We have found a self-service jet wash. It's only 9 minutes away, so we'll go and do that because that is absolutely filthy. Nice. Okay. So we popped into the historical town called Arles, which had this self-service jet wash, and we all thought this was an absolutely brilliant idea. We don't really get these kind of setups in the UK, but it makes so much sense. You go up, you put some coins into the machine, then you have a timer and you can jet wash your car down, which was well needed after visiting Baduk, where all of our cars got absolutely filthy. Once they were cleaned, we headed off on a long drive to Andorra.
You will need some more time though. I'm trying to put in some screens in, it won't make it.
Well, they look a little bit more presentable now. Less likely to get pulled over by the police. Still covered in mud, but it's better than nothing. So now this is done, we can finally start our long drive to Andorra, which is still over 5 hours away. So, car wash is all done. We are now back on the motorway, 4 hours and 50 minutes away from our campsite in Andorra, which we are all really looking forward to because we haven't had a shower since we left England, and luckily there is a shower at this campsite, so we're really excited to finally get a nice warm shower. And it was also a good shout to wash the cars because they were absolutely filthy. So yeah, on the motorway now. We're going to go the slightly more scenic route, so we are going to drive over the mountain region as well. So we'll hopefully get some really nice shots there. But now it's time to hunker down and just get some miles done. And I have to give a quick shout out to Aless, who is Jordan's co-pilot in the VW camper van, for getting these awesome drive-by shots. We made a quick pit stop at a service station, topped up on fuel, and headed back out on the road. And it wasn't long until we came off the motorway, started to hit some twisty roads, and we could see the mountain range ahead of us.
Very nice.
As we were climbing, the views of the Pyrenees were becoming better and better. But unfortunately for Jordan in the VW camper van, I think the altitude and the steep hills were starting to give his VW camper a few minor issues. So we thought we would pull over at the next available opportunity, and that happened to be an absolutely stunning place to see some views. As we parked up, we all got out of our cars to appreciate the absolutely incredible views. Well, apart from Jordan, who was trying to fix his rubbish, unreliable German camper van. Anyway, after that we got back on the road for about 9 minutes before we had to pull off again to let Jordan have a look at his camper van. So we are currently going through the Pyrenees as we speak. We haven't quite made it into Andorra yet, but the scenery here is absolutely amazing. Just look at that, would you? That is beautiful. The T4 is struggling a little bit with altitude. It's not running quite right. We're all a little bit down on power. We're currently 1,500 meters above sea level. And also just pulled up next to this Land Cruiser, which is absolutely awesome as well. Jamie's topped me up on fuel. So is the CRV. Pedro's struggling with the altitude, but he's still going well. We're about an hour and a half away from our campsite. Yeah, the views are just spectacular. After this quick pit stop, we got back on the road, but this time for at least 17 minutes, until the camper van had another problem. The T4 has an issue. The gear linkage seems to have gone west. That is another breakdown. So just a quick recap of all of the unreliable cars that have attended this trip. On day one, it was Loza in his Suzuki Grand Vitara.
This is a viscous fan.
Right.
So as the engine runs, the water pump spins. That spins the fan to cool the car down. As the engine goes faster, fan spins faster. However, you can see that coupling's gone completely.
On day two, it was Matt in his Honda CR-V. On day three, it was Jamie in his Suzuki Grand Vitara. And now on day four, it was Jordan in his unreliable German camper van. I wonder what day 5 will have for us. So the issue looks to be there's a rubber bush in that linkage which has now disappeared.
Actually, they might work.
So,
Let me try one.
250 points. Jordan has.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah. Okay.
Just alone.
So
Seems to be working.
So what's happened is on the end of this rod is a bush that holds it inside the gear selector, so that it rotates. The bush is split and fell out. So I put it back in and using cable ties to hold it in place. So with any luck, it will stay there and do its job.
After fixing Jordan's camper van, we got back on the road and did the final push to get us into Andorra. Just arrived at the Andorra border, just about to go through now, and we had all officially made it into Andorra. which we quickly realised must have been the home place of the Fiat Panda 4x4, because every other car was one. So now it was time to try and find our campsite, pitch up, and then relax. So we have made it to the campsite, we're pitched up, we've had our first shower since leaving the UK, and it was so nice to have a warm shower. So we're all lovely and refreshed, we're having a few drinks here, then we're going to head into town, go to a restaurant, and get ready for tomorrow's trail, which I'll introduce in the next video. But overall, apart from a couple of little minor hiccups that Jordan had in his T4 camper van, it was pretty smooth driving. The views were absolutely stunning going over the Pyrenees, and the views tomorrow are going to be even better. We were all over the moon that we had finally made it into Andorra. But thank you very much for watching part 4 of Pedro and Pals' road trip to Andorra. In part 5, you join us exploring the wilderness and some trails in Andorra.